In the hierarchy of nature, we think we understand the rules. Predator and prey, survival of the fittest, the strong dominating the weak. But in the winter of 2024, in the remote wilderness of Yellowstone, something happened that would challenge everything we thought we knew about the emotional lives of wolves. This is a story captured entirely by accident, by cameras that weren't meant to see what they saw. And it begins with a trap.
We set up camera traps throughout the Lamar Valley to study elk migration patterns. We weren't even focused on predators. But what these cameras caught over 17 days. I've studied wolf behavior for 26 years. This footage changed my entire understanding of what wolves are capable of.
A red fox, young male, approximately 18 months old. Caught in an illegal leg hold trap, the kind that had been banned in this area for over a decade. He'd been there for at least 6 hours.
In every predictable scenario, this is where the story ends for the fox. Wolves and foxes compete for the same prey. They're not enemies exactly, but they're certainly not friends. A trapped fox is, well, it's an easy meal. That's Sierra, the alpha female of the Lamar Canyon Pack. And here's what made everything that followed even more extraordinary. Three weeks before this footage, Sierra lost all 5 of her pups. An avalanche. They were in a den that collapsed. We found their bodies 2 days later. She didn't attack. She didn't leave. She stayed.
Over the next 4 days, the Lamar Canyon Pack did something unprecedented. They brought food to the fox. They cleared snow from around him. They stood watch.
When Marcus first showed me this footage, I thought there had to be another explanation. Maybe the fox had food cached nearby they wanted. Maybe they were guarding him to eat later. But day after day, the evidence mounted. This wasn't opportunism. This was care. Maternal instinct doesn't just shut off when you lose offspring. In elephants, we've seen mothers grieve for months, carry dead calves. But in wolves, we didn't have evidence of anything like this. The transference of maternal care across species to what would normally be a competitor.
By day 5, the fox had stopped trying to escape when the wolves approached. The trap had damaged his legs severely. He was growing weaker despite the food. Time was running out.
We check the cameras every 5 to 7 days usually. But Dr. Hartley was visiting and we pulled the cards early. When we saw what was happening, we had maybe hours.
They were 40 miles from the trap site. In these conditions, over terrain that was at least a 2-hour journey, and they'd be arriving in darkness.
The biggest risk was the wolves. If they perceived us as a threat to the fox, if Sierra thought we were attacking him, an entire pack defending their territory, that's not a situation you want to be in.
There, careful. The alpha female is still here. Everyone stay calm. Slow movements.
Legs in bad shape. Compound fracture. Major frostbite.
We're helping him, Sierra. We've got him.
The leg was in bad shape. Significant tissue damage, bone fragments, infection beginning to set in. There was a real possibility we'd lose it. But the surgical team decided to try an internal fixation, pins and plates to stabilize the fracture, aggressive antibiotic treatment for the infection. It was a long shot, but sometimes long shots come through.
Weeks of careful monitoring followed. The infection retreated. The bone began to knit. The research team dared to hope.
While we were rehabilitating the fox, we named him Ember. We kept monitoring the Lamar Canyon Pack. And what we found, she kept going back for weeks, like she was looking for him.
The scientific term is grieve behavior. We've observed it in primates, elephants, even birds. But documented grief in wolves for another species, this was unprecedented.
We made a decision that was controversial in the scientific community. We were going to give Ember back, not to release him randomly, but to return him to his territory. And we were going to be there to observe what happened. Multiple cameras positioned, everyone in place? Okay, let's see what happens.
The team waited and watched.
Oh my God, she recognizes him.
She remembers. This is incredible. Are you getting this?
They walked together into the tree line, the entire pack, and Ember, the 3-legged fox who by all natural laws should not survive. He was part of their family now.
For decades, we've studied animals as biological machines. Stimulus and response, instinct and survival. But what Sierra showed us, what this entire pack demonstrated, they grieve, they love, they make choices that defy evolutionary logic because something deeper drives them. Compassion isn't exclusive to humans. It might be one of the most fundamental forces in nature.
Ember lived with the Lamar Canyon Pack for 14 months before eventually returning to a solitary fox's life. But during that time, he learned to hunt alongside wolves, to howl with them, to be something no fox had ever been before. As for Sierra, she never had another litter of pups. But perhaps, in saving Ember, she found another way to be a mother. Another way to let love survive loss.